All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, The Money Show is the program live on AIT coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. Joining me right now is TAOPHEEK Babayeju, the CEO at iCentral. He's also an executive director of Promocom, if I'm permitted to say that.
Definitely.
TAOPHEEK, good to see you and welcome to the program.
Let me start by saying Happy New Year to you, Nancy.
Hi,
it's good to see you again this year.
Thank you very much. It's been quite a while that I have seen you. Up to a year, I guess. Yes. Welcome to the program.
And incidentally, the last time I was here, we were talking about the same topic.
Yes, and things haven't really changed. Why is it that we keep on talking and things don't really change?
Yeah, because if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, you get the same results.
So what are leaders doing there? That's another key question.
Okay, the big thing right now is the primaries.
Okay,
It took me like 1 hour to get to the studios.
Here. You said so.
I've been in Soko for the past 1 hour.
So just driving to this place took you 1 hour.
1 hour. It's okay. Let's get down to the
No, but I think we should talk about that a little bit because fine, for the fact that it's PDP presidential primaries today, does that mean that some businesses should close down?
Shut down, yeah.
Is that rational? Or does that mean that people wouldn't get to their workplaces on time? I don't think it makes any sense. So even any political party wants to do something like that.
It just shows you know, how we are as a people. You know, we don't put in the necessary contingency plan, you know, to mitigate any risk or, you know, action. It's I think it's still part of our culture that we need to change.
I think we just have a lot wrong going on because I saw security agents telling people to go the other road. I saw a woman
and they were not nice with it.
And they were not nice and they were not polite about it. I think probably if the Inspector General of Police is watching or the security
agencies, nobody's going to watch you today.
Oh,
no politician is going. Any public office holder is not going to watch you today. Because they're concerned about the primaries. So let's talk to the professionals.
Okay, let's move ahead. Now, Budget 2011, we're looking at the issues as well as the challenges.
Yeah.
The last time you were on the program too, we talked about the issue of the budget, and it seems that nothing really has happened. It's listening to President Goodluck Jonathan addressing the joint session of lawmakers at the National Assembly. Of course, his 26-page speech, of course, he started with, it's with great pleasure and honor I present the 2011 budget proposal. You see, President saying this all the time. And at the end of the day, my question is, what's the implementation level
strategy
of it?
Thank you very much. I've always said it, and the last time I was on this show, I said to you, the budget is actually, that's turned to a national ritual. You know, it's something we do year in, year out, and the president goes to the National Assembly, you know, reads the speech as usual. And one question you ask me is, or we ask ourselves is, why are the budgets not properly implemented? The facts, 2007, there was 450 billion naira returned to the coffers of the federal government. In 2009, the speaker said they've discovered 750 billion naira unspent funds in the MDAs. You know, it gives us great joy that, okay, monies are being returned for the first time anyways. But does it actually address the challenges? Because in 2007, if I'm correct, we had 30% budget implementation. The Honorable Minister of Finance recently said to us that we had 53 point something percent budget implementation.
And they expected us to clap for them.
However, you want to ask a question, is disbursement equal to implementation?
Good.
Because you've disbursed 50% of the funds of the budget, but does it naturally translate to implementation on ground of the capital projects that were supposed to be taken care of by this budget? That's another question. I will come to that. And you want to ask yourself, you know, what are the issues of the budget? Like I've always said, it's an annual ritual. It's operational more than projectized. Because if you look at a budget from the angle of an operation, or you look at an organization doing the same thing over and over again, there's no much effort. But when you introduce a projectized approach, there is a particular project or set of programs or portfolios that you hope to deliver at the end of the year. And I think, we should get away from the norms by making our budgets very, very operational. And again, one of the issues is lack of capacities among the MDAs, the civil servants.
I was just coming to that because you see money being disbursed and you see people doing the same thing the same way year in, year out. How do we expect to achieve results when we do the same thing the
over
same
and over?
way?
Yeah,
Yes.
the same way. You see, these same guys delivered the budget, or quote unquote, 30% and 53.5%. It shows us that there is a lacuna somewhere. It means there is no proper capabilities or the capacities within the MDAs to deliver these projects are missing. So how do we build on the capacities? Because it's like in project management, there's something we call customer expectation delivery. I want something from you. You're supposed to give me a service. There should be a service level agreement that details what you're supposed to give to me and what I actually expect. You're taking your clothes to the tailor. You've given him the design. So if it comes out different from what you actually gave him the design, whether the measurement or the design, you know that there's a problem somewhere. So most times, the MDAs, the civil servants within the MDAs, don't actually know what to look for, and you realize that budgets are not smart. In project management, there's something we call SMART, which is SMART, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And I'm going to take them one by one. If your project is not specific, what do you want to achieve from here? It needs to be designed. You have a project charter that tells you the exact products that you're expecting from this. How measurable? At what point? What are the milestones? How do we measure the achievements or the deliveries stage by stage? Is it achievable? Is this thing realistic? A point in question was when we had the power probe, we realized that there was a gas turbine. I don't know what equipment it was. I think it was a gas turbine. That was supposed to be transported over a bridge. That is actually the equipment is bigger than the weight of the bridge.
Okay. So
is that realizable? No. Is it achievable? No. So we advocate. Okay, before I go to that, the time bound. If your project is not time bound, we have to deliver this between 6 months. But what you have in Nigeria is projects are not time bound. It's open ended. People just do the projects. Even the ministries or the agencies or the implementers who are supposed to give you the timelines don't even release the money to you at the appropriate time. So the contractor comes with so much variation at the end of the day. I'm like, okay, the dollar was so when you gave me this money, because most of these capital projects are actually in dollars. So we keep having this issue year in, year out. So what are the solutions?
We'll come back to the solutions or the recommendations at the end of, as we approach the end of the program. But taking a look at Budget 2011, President Goodluck Jonathan said that it is a budget of fiscal consolidation, inclusive economic growth, as well as employment generation. Of course, if you read through the budget proposal, you see for job creation schemes, seed capital of about 50 billion and all of that. How do you see this 2011 budget? Is it proposal anyway? Is it different from what we've seen in the past? Is there a kind of willingness of President Goodluck Jonathan's part at doing things differently?
Well, I think the president actually means well from the budget, but it still comes down to implementation. There's no doubt we have the most trained human beings, personnel within the civil service. They go for different set of trainings, and we have fantastic planners, research planning and statistics departments in every MDAs. But can you implement? It's a different ball game.
What is it then about implementation that we can't get right?
Because we don't have the right skill sets.
So what are the right skill sets?
Every nation UK, US, even Dubai next door here, has imbibed the culture of project management. And are we going into recommendation now?
Okay, no, first of all,
Okay.
let's say what project management means, because some people may not just understand what we're saying, don't you think so?
Okay.
Okay, just go ahead.
Project management, basically for a layman, is about delivering projects within time, budget, and specification,
Using the right skills, knowledge, and technicalities and tools to deliver projects, to make sure that they are delivered, within those three scopes.
So, okay.
It's
It's like the discipline of planning, organizing, managing resources to bring about the successful completion of specific goals and objectives.
Objectives, yeah.
Okay, okay. Now, I asked you a question earlier on about why do you think implementation is such a Herculean task that we can achieve in Nigeria?
However, I'm not going to say anything different from what has been said at the different forums, because my organization at Central Consulting organizes the annual Project Management Conference, which is Promocon, every year in conjunction with the Project Management Institutes. And we have come up with beautiful recommendations to everybody, to the participants and governments over the years. I think we had the last one, the second edition last year. And we've been fortunate to have government represented at every of this.
The DG Budget Office was at the last one.
Yeah, it was at the last one. And he made fantastic points. And we all came to the conclusion. For us to properly implement budget, just the same way you have Servicom or what's it called, the procurement units, you must have a proper project management offices replicated around every MDAs.
Okay.
It is basic and simple. At the presidency, there should be a PMO, a program management office. At the National Assembly, there should be a program management office. At the what's it called, the MDAs, there should be project management offices. And what is the benefit of this to the nation? At a glance, you have a project dashboard that tells you every project that is being executed by the federal government, the nature of the projects, and the progress of the implementation. There will be knowledge, it will be a knowledge management center for people that are implementing. And you'll be able to properly evaluate projects and form a business case around it. That, is this feasible? Does it make sense? There was a project like this last year. Does it key into the overall objective of the federal government or the 2020 vision? So that is what the project management office does to you. A typical example is at the central bank, which has an enterprise program management office. And at a glance, you can see what the project, what's it called, the bank is doing, the different projects and programs that the bank is involved in, and the level of the stages and the level of completion. And that is what a project management office does to you. And we need to actually build capacity of competent project managers across all these MDAs, just the same way you did for procurement. So it is not a rocket science. There is just something missing. We can't keep talking about budget implementation, lack of implementation for over a decade now. But what is the solution?
Over a decade, or like existence
No,
of Nigeria?
Existence of Nigeria. But
for 50 years?
Projects were actually well delivered even in those days.
In those days than now.
So I'm just talking about the advent of democracy between 1999 and now. We've been talking about the same thing over and over again. But what
and we've
is the
had
solution?
so much money earmarked for the budget every year, at least
it's
since.
It's not a problem. The money is not the problem. Like one said in those days that the money is not Nigeria's problem, it's how to use it. And still, how? That is what project management is all about. Who does what? What is it that you want to do? When are you going to do it? Where? And who does what? And how are you going to do it? What is your implementation strategy?
All right, let's quickly take a break right now. When we come back, TAOPHEEK Babayeju is still with me, the CEO of iCentral. We're talking about budget implementation, the issues as well as the challenges. Join us again. right, so welcome back. If you're just joining us, The Money Show is the program live on African Independent Television. It's the Thursday edition, the 13th day of January 2011. TAOPHEEK Babayeju is still with me here in the studio, and we're talking budget implementation. TAOPHEEK, let's talk about the role of private-public partnership to get this done. If the government has failed or has failed to deliver, as it were, what should the private sector, should the private and public sector come together to see an end to this?
I won't say the government has failed anyways, because who is the government? It's you and I. So, and I think the best way we can approach this is to have a good synergy between the public sector and the private sector. Luckily for us, at the last PromoCon, we had the Director General of what's it called, Infrastructural Concession and Regulatory Commission, ICRC, represented by what we're going to talk about, the key person that is in charge of ICRC, which is Engineer Izua. He's the DG PPP Resource Center. And
I saw his presentation.
It was fantastic.
And fantastic.
Yeah.
I saw his presentation, but he said, sorry to cut you short, he said while he was presenting that, he gave us a picture of his school those days.
Yeah.
And the school hasn't changed, probably 50 years now.
You see, what I was able to take out of that was the fact that, you see, the private sector has a big role to play. Because you never see the UBAs of this world and the rest of them, the public sector, not implementing their budgets. If you have ever been a contractor to a bank, you sit upright. So we need to transfer these skill sets to the public sector, because you can't give what you don't have. Obviously, the people within the public sector, fantastic people that are doing very well, but there's a limit to what they can do when it comes to implementation. And that is why we come up with such initiative, to see that we transfer the skill sets. But until it is, this is an initiative, but until there's a proper synergy between governments and the private sector,